We managed to capture the eggs, Your Highness. Every last one.
Excellent. Maybe you will amount to something after all. Now, go guard the tunnels. Stop anyone from coming through.
Where are the eggs?
The holes came out on the other side of the dragon worlds. We found some of the eggs, but they were too heavy to carry back.
The other side of the world?
The Forgotten Worlds. Spyro, you'll have to go. Nobody else can fit down the holes.
Yeah, come on, let's go!
Find the eggs and bring them back, Spyro. You're our only chance.
You got it.
Spyro. To look left or right, press the L2 or R2 buttons. To quickly center the camera behind you, press the L1 or R1 button. You can look all around by holding the triangle button down.
So, you're the one in charge of rescuing the eggs, huh? How sad. Look here, Dragon. If you know what's good for you, you'll turn around and crawl back up that hole you came through. Those eggs belong to us now, and I've hidden them in places you'll never find in 1,000 years. Besides, even if you could find an egg, our expertly trained armies will dispose of you and take it back. Do I make myself clear? If I find you here again, I am going to be very angry, and you won't like me when I'm angry.
Yo, Spyro, I just found one of those portal thingamajigs that leads to a different world, but you'll have to glide to get across to it. Press the X button to jump, then press the X button again while you're in the air to glide. Just follow me. I saw something shiny in that cave over there. Let's go check it out. You can get there by hovering. To hover, just press the triangle button at the end of your glide. Oh, I almost forgot. I found this egg.
This is a Superfly power-up, Spyro. Whenever you walk through any power-up that looks like this one, it will allow you to fly for a while. camera is currently in passive mode. This mode requires you to control the camera yourself and moves more slowly. If you like, I can change the game camera to active mode. In active mode, the camera moves much faster. Your camera is now in active mode and will move faster. If you don't like it, come back and see me, or change it yourself by using the options menu.
I'm late for a dinner party at the Tiki Lodge, and the portal to my home just stopped working. Maybe the portal will reactivate after a few more dragons hatch.
I see an egg at the bottom of this lake. I would go get it, but I don't want to get my fur all wet. Maybe you could get it. You can dive underwater by pressing the square button when you're on the surface, and charge underwater by holding down the square button.
About to go for a nice swim at Shell Beach, and my portal just disappeared right in front of me. If you go find some more of those dragon eggs, I bet this portal will turn on again.
My, how funny to see you here. Why, I haven't seen you since we defeated Ripto in Avalar. Well, my business went into a slump after you left, so I came here and struck up a nice deal with the local sorceress. Lovely woman she is. Seems to be very fond of dragons, too. I'm getting paid a fortune to keep Sheila the kangaroo locked up. The pesky animal must have been causing a lot of trouble for that poor sorceress. I suppose I could accidentally let the kangaroo escape if you were to pay me, say, a small fee. Ah, Spyro, I love your sweet naivete. Your kind-hearted nature might be your downfall someday, but for the time being, it's making me rich. I hope you appreciate this favor I'm doing in letting you out.
That's good of you, mate. No hard feelings, eh?
Right. After all, I'm just doing my job.
I reckon you'd be one of them dragons then.
Yeah, name's Spyro.
Never thought I'd see one. You dragons used to rule this entire world, you know. Then all of a sudden you left. Poof.
Dragons used to live here?
Didn't you know? They say it was over 1,000 years ago, I think.
And they just left?
Yeah, and the weird thing is, after they left, all the magic in the world just sort of went with them. I mean, they say this world used to have magic coming out the wazoo. Flying ships, singing forests, wishing stones, you name it. But when the dragons left, it all just dried up.
Is that why some of the portals don't work?
Yeah, they're starting to fade out too, one by one. Well, I gotta get back home and do some damage control. Come visit anytime you like. Thanks again, Spyro. Now I have to find out what that nasty sorceress has done to my home while I was locked up.
Hiya, Sheila. While you are gone, a bunch of Rhinox kicked us out of our houses. It's okay, though. Bobby, Pete, and I are working on a clever plan to take them back. Get up really steep cliffs like this one with your double jump. Press the X button to jump and press it again exactly when you hit the ground to do the double jump. Once you've mastered it, you can go anywhere you want. Home at last. Here, I was saving this to make an omelette, but I think you deserve it more. Last time we tried to get past this moose, he knocked Billy clean through a wall. If you don't mind, we'll just hang out here while you give him a good kicking. Hey, Sheila, let's play a joke. Take this egg and smash it on Billy's house, okay? I need to get him back for the last time he butted me off the cliff. Those Rhinox have taken over! There'll be no stopping them unless we can smash the huts! The huts are too big to smash with your kick attack, so try using your stomp attack to smash them instead. I'll confuse them with taunting while you stomp the huts, okay? You remember how to stomp, don't you? Just jump, then press the triangle button in the air. You remember how to stomp, don't you? Just jump, then press the triangle button in the air. for the help, Sheila. You can have this egg I found in my house.
If you ever forget how to control a character or vehicle, just go to the pause menu and select Help.
Oh my, oh my. Can you help us? Hordes of ferocious Rhinox have overrun our town and kidnapped the mayor. Let me catch my breath and I'll kick that other guy's butt.
This Rhinoc is too big to charge. You'll have to flame him using the circle button. Spyro. Each time a fairy zaps you like this, that means your progress is saved. If you get into trouble, you'll return to the last place you got zapped.
Thanks for the help, but I think I would have worn him down in a minute. Thank you for rescuing my town. As mayor, I award you with one of our famous giant chicken eggs. I'm sorry. That was the ugliest chicken I've ever seen.
Hi, Spyro. I found this gladiator training arena, and it makes a pretty cool skate park. Care for a test of your boarding skills? I bet you can't catch all 15 of the lizards running around here. Just come back if you want some boarding tips from the master. Hey, that was great! And while you were boarding, I found this in a lizard burrow. All right, if you can catch all the lizards without wiping out and before time runs out, I might be able to scrounge up another egg. It's not going to be easy, though. Go get 'em, Spyro! Whoa, that was sweet! And look, there was another egg in the lizard burrow. You can go for the course record now if you want. Whenever you hop on a skateboard, a timer will start. Score as many points as you can until the timer expires or you wipe out. Good luck!
Hey, Spyro, there are Rhinox everywhere. Maybe I can find some peace and quiet at the top of the tower.
Alas, I have lost my love, guarded by evil Rhinox at the top of yonder tower. Can you rescue her for me?
Sent you here. I've got a restraining order against him.
Ooh, look out, Hunter. It's the scary sorceress.
I've warned you already. This place isn't safe for small dragons and pussycats.
Thanks, but I think we can look after ourselves.
Try looking after this!
Come back when you finish witch school, okay?
Say, is it just me? Or is she kinda cute when she's angry?
Rhinox have shut down our cloud generator, and I'll never see a rainbow again. If my wings were big and strong like yours, I could easily glide across here. The metal armor those enemies are wearing protects them from your dragon flame. If you hold down the square button, you can defeat them with your charge attack.
Well, well, if it isn't my favorite dragon. The sorceress has put me in charge of guarding these bellows. However, I suppose I might look the other way if I was distracted by counting gems.
Ooh, yes, precious, precious gems.
Well then, Spyro, you may now use the bellows any time you wish. Best of luck on your little egg hunt.
Remember, to get your longest glide, press the X button at the very top of your jump, and use the triangle button to hover at the end of your jump.
You activated the bellows? Maybe I can get the cloud generator working again. The Rhinox must have been using this thing to clog up the cloud generator. Our sun has gone out. We can make a new one with our lava fusion cauldron and 3 sun seeds, but they keep burning out before we can get them in the pot. Step on the switch to get a fresh sun seed and keep flaming it until you get it into the pot. what I call a sun. Here, you can have this last sun seed as a souvenir. I think it might be a dud, though. We usually wake up our rain cloud at the crack of dawn, but these mischievous spirits are stopping our bells from ringing. Doodad. It fell out of the belfry.
At last, my portal is working again. Come visit me at the Tiki Lodge. Rhinocs are running rampant around here, but I can't get anyone out of the Tiki Lodge long enough to do anything about it.
Be sure to keep your friend Sparks the dragonfly healthy, Spyro. If his health is low, torch a little creature like the slug below me to release a butterfly.
this egg. They were giving them away at the Tiki Lodge last night.
Spyro, you're just in time. I saw 2 egg thieves run through this door. Well, actually, they paid me to guard their hideout, but that's irrelevant. I'll happily let you through the gate to chase them down for a small finder's fee. Thank you, Spyro, and best of luck catching those dastardly egg thieves.
Are you the dragon looking for all those eggs? Because I saw a shifty-looking character with one over there. Hey, there goes another one. He was really fast. Maybe if I activate the supercharge, you'll be able to catch him.
I'll see you at the beach. While I was gone, my friends borrowed the Rhinox submarine, and then they took it for a joyride, and then they smashed it into a big pile of rocks. Oddly enough, the Rhinox failed to see the humor in the story and stuffed my friends in the jail behind you.
want a quick summary of your progress in a world, you can press the Select button to open the Atlas page for the world you are in. To get more distance when gliding. Just press the triangle button at the end of your glide.
Hi, Spyro. Some of my seal friends are trying to take down a Rhinoc fortress. I'm about to go and lend a foot. I love the smell of singed Rhinoc in the morning.
Sheila, the Rhinocs have built a fortress on our beach and we're gonna blow it to smithereens. We just need you to take out all the turrets for us. We're lighting the bomb now. Just make sure to stomp all those turrets before the fuse runs out, okay? I survived that blast! It's a good thing I kept this egg nice and safe in my pocket. had a dragon egg for you, but we used it to test our ultra-high-speed superfluidity tunnel. The good news is that it made it to the end of the tunnel without a scratch. The bad news is that there's no way to get it back out now. The tunnel is chock full of Rhinox and floating mines. The only way to retrieve that egg is to defeat every single Rhinox in the tunnel. Surprisingly good fluid dynamic characteristics. From now on, all of our submarines will be egg-shaped. The Rhinox has challenged us to a naval battle. Our speedboat versus his nuclear shark submarine. If we win, we get the dragon egg he's guarding. If we lose, we have to spend a month in KP. What do you say? Do you want to take on Bluto? Okay, good luck. Just remember, stay away from the sharp end. Someone so purple. I hope this egg was worth all the trouble. jail key while he was shaking me. Now I can free my friends! Oh, I forgot to tell you. One of the Rhinocs had this egg in his lunchbox. Let's head on over to the balloon. The balloon's all ready, sir. Just jump on.
Whoa! A bunch of sheep in flying saucers just came out of nowhere and started blasting up the race course. Looks like I'll have to hop in my plane and teach them some manners. Look out, sheep! Here I come! Woohoo! Check it out! The squad leader had abducted this egg!
Listen carefully, you stupid girl. I'm only going to ask you one more time. Why haven't you disposed of that infernal dragon?
I've tried to scare him off, Your Highness. But he's just not afraid of anything.
Not afraid? Not afraid? Why have I been training you all these years? Use some magic! Here's a spell book. Whip up a monster and eliminate him.
Kill him?
I don't care what you do, you useless brat, as long as you get rid of him.
Okay, let's see what we got here. This ought to do it. You, come here.
When I heard the sorceress was planning to ambush you, I got here as fast as I could. No worries, though. This wussy green toad will be no match for the two of us.